Greetings and welcome back to another exciting episode of Q Points Podcast. I am DJ Sir Daniel.
And my name is J. Ray, sometimes known by my government as Johnny Ray Cornegay III. What's happening, people?
J. Ray, how are you feeling, bro?
I'm feeling good. My voice is a little raspy. I think I have a sinus sitch happening.
That's going around a lot.
It's going around. Also, let me tell you, we got to put our masks back on. Like when I'm going to like appointments and doctor's appointments, COVID is out here.
Spinning the block. Absolutely. COVID is back and better than before, as if that was possible. But
how are you?
As usual, I'm back to my old shenanigans. I'm feeling good. Warrior Mama, we see you. Mark McPherson. So glad to see you guys are safe and here. But tonight, we got it going on, Jerry. We got a lot to catch up on, and we have our topic this evening is something that's been on everybody's lips for the past few weeks, including Boosie. And we are going to
so many thoughts when we get to that.
You know, of course, we're going to talk about The Color Purple, the musical. And we're going to talk about Broadway musicals as it relates to Black music and our lives, of course. So, and we're going to talk about all of that other stuff too. We're going to get to all of that. So before we do that, let's just get the housekeeping out the way. J. Ray, please let our people know how they can maintain contact with us and keep up with the mess.
Yes. So first things first, welcome everybody. Y'all are doing the thing that helps us the most, and that is tuning in, listening wherever you are listening or watching the show. That is important. So just go ahead and hit the subscribe button so that you can get notified whenever we go live or have a show, anything like that. That is completely free. Also, share it with your friends and family. That is completely free as well. If you like Q Points, they will like Q Points too. And it helps us to spread the word about the show. So that's super dope. You can join our mailing list as well. So make sure that you do that. You can become a Q Points insider. That gives you some other stuff. We only send that email out like once a month, sometimes twice. But it gives you some additional kind of behind the scenes stuff. Our Q Points magazine is popping. Like Q Points magazine is its own entity.
It's gorgeous.
Thank you so much. We are having so much fun with that. So you can certainly go over there and also subscribe so you can get Q Points magazine in your inbox. And last but not least, you can support us by purchasing merch. So if you visit our store at store.qpoints.com, you can purchase merch. The exciting thing is this year, I'm so excited. I can't wait to start launching our merch. We're going to have new merch more frequently in 2024, and we're so excited. So, y'all need to get up on it because it's about to go down. But those are all the ways to stay connected to Q Points.
Perfection. So, do as J. Ray said, and now so that we can keep these lights on over here, and of course, to indulge in these conversations, these music-based conversations.
So one of the things that as we were kind of closing out last year, we knew that The Color Purple was coming out because it was, baby, the moment the strike was over, Oprah called on her phone and she said, get everybody on the plane, kids. And people started promoting because it was Color Purple time.
Boy, did they.
Did they? And baby, you can't tell me that Oprah didn't get that strike done, right? You can't tell me that Oprah didn't end the strike. But we were talking about like, the importance of Broadway shows and those Broadway shows that become then movies, right?
Mhm.
And one of the first ones that we ended up talking about was Dreamgirls, which of course is almost 20 years old. This is the that movie is 18 years old now.
Wow.
And of course, the film was based on the 1980s, the early 1980s Broadway hit musical that starred Cheryl Lee Ralph,
Hmm.
Loretta Devine, and the Jennifer Holliday. These are household names in Black culture, right? They starred in this Broadway show that I never got a chance to see on Broadway, but it was important that that show and that story then it made its way to the movies. But Sir Daniel, what is your memory of Dreamgirls as a kid?
So, as you all know, I grew up in New York in the early 80s, late 70s, early 80s. And Broadway is like the industry that keeps New York running. It
Mhm,
attracts tourists from all over the world. People come from everywhere to see a Broadway play in New York City. So, you're going to see commercials all day long ad nauseum about some Broadway play. There was a time where I would hear I can hear the cue of a song and know, oh, that's from Cats,
mhm,
because the Cats commercials was running all the time. Les Mis, I knew that one 20-second clip. I knew the 20 seconds that would play from Les Mis on the commercial, and I know that those verses to that. And you name it. And so Dreamgirls was no different. And I just remember the coming to the Broadway theater, la, la, la. One night, and it would be that same commercial with their fingers pointing out, one night only, and Shirley Ralph and Jennifer Holliday and Loretta Devine starring Dreamgirls. And I just remember seeing that commercial ad nauseum as a child, and just being completely aware of Dreamgirls, but never actually having seen it myself. Later on, of course, as I got older, I became familiar with the songs associated with
mhm,
Dreamgirls, like all of us. And then to experience the movie in
mhm,
2005, um, and knowing that those this new cast had those major shoes to fill was very exciting, especially when it came to Jennifer Hudson. You know,
mhm.
that movie was squarely on her shoulders, and she did share some of the weight with Beyonce, but that movie was squarely on her shoulders because people wanted to see what was going to happen with the runner up
Yes.
from American Idol, because she didn't win
Yep.
American Idol. So they were going to what's going to happen with Jennifer Hudson. And here she had this moment, and she took that moment all the way to the Oscars.
Yeah. The movie I remember um so leading up to the film, Beyonce was of course the bigger star. Like she was the more, let me say that differently. She was the more well-known contemporary star. Anika Noni Rose is already a star on Broadway. Like she is, like we know her. Um
Television, all of that. Yep.
all of that, right? To your point, that was the thing with Jennifer Hudson was like, okay, so what's Jennifer gonna do? But everybody was, it was Beyonce was being set up as like the thing. And so it was funny when I went to see Dreamgirls.
Hmm.
And I was like, the moment that Effie appeared on screen, I was like, oh, she's eating right now. When she walks in there, the where's Effie and Effie showed up, it
Hmm.
was very clear what what Jennifer Hudson was going to give.
Yeah, and shout out to them, to all three of those women, to
Mhm.
drive, to be in the driver's seat of that movie, of that huge institution of a franchise. Dreamgirls is a
A
franchise.
franchise. Mhm.
And of course it helped to have a Jamie Foxx who was
Mhm.
at the height of his superpowers by the time that movie came on, because he had already won an Oscar for Ray. He
Mhm.
was already a huge recording star at that point, hobnobbing with Tom Cruise and later stole
Mhm.
his wife. And then, and was the hot guy in Hollywood. So it was just a perfect storm for a perfect situation. J. Ray, what was your favorite number from the
Ooh.
film?
So it's funny. So Sir Daniel and I, and we had some, folks that would pop in and joined us. We actually watched Dreamgirls together.
Mm-hmm.
And we're gonna do more of that too. So look out for that. Like you might get a chance to watch stuff with us, right? So we watched Dreamgirls together, and I had not seen it in a long time. I can't remember the last time I actually saw Dreamgirls. So, ooh, this is hard. Okay, so my choice, my favorite number, I'm actually looking at the numbers because, okay, so yeah, my favorite number is definitely, I think it's Move, actually.
Okay.
Move, which is, of course, the first song that the Dreams perform.
Mm-hmm.
Were they the Dreamettes at the time? But
The
anyway,
Dreamettes.
they were the Dreamettes then. And I like the energy of the song. Jennifer Hudson, of course, leads that joint. And the energy of the song I really, really love. And even then I love it performed in the film. So I think that's my favorite number. What's your favorite number?
Hands down, step into the
To the
dark
best.
side. Ooh,
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 ooh.
ooh.
There's just something about that. The first of all, it was the combination of the song and the choreography, because Fatima Robinson put her whole foot all the way up to her elbow into that choreography for that whole movie. And yes, step into the dark side. And
Step into the bad
yeah,
side.
is it? I don't know
It's
why I keep saying dark. Look, I'm getting Dreamgirls and Star Wars mixed up. But step into the bad side. Excuse me, y'all. But yeah, that's my favorite number from Dreamgirls. And yeah, if you are was as invested in Dreamgirls, either the play or the movie, my question for you then is, who was actually the most toxic person in
Ooh.
Dreamgirls? Was it Curtis? Was it Effie? Or was it Dina? And I think a lot of people, well, I can't speak for a lot of people. I'll speak for myself. I would say, after watching Dreamgirls again a couple times over the holidays, well, it's kind of hard because they were all equally terrible. They were all equally terrible to each other at certain points. And especially when the money and the fame
Yeah.
got involved. But I think the most problematic, if Dina had not started messing around with Curtis, at least, try her darndest not to sleep with him or become romantically involved with him. If she would have stuck to the girl code, I don't think that maybe the trajectory of their careers would have gone a different place.
Mm, I respect that. I respect that. I think the most toxic, uh, and this character was just an awful character. I think Curtis is a despicable character.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's and we were watching the film and it was like, oh child, you was just awful from the beginning. Like if
From the
somebody is doing
video.
all of that talking and they got an answer and they already got your life planned out, run. Like run for the hills.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, for me, I definitely think Curtis uh was the most toxic character. Um, what about y'all? I'm curious to know, for folks that are either watching us live or if you're listening to this show,
Mm-hmm.
let us know, who do you think is the most toxic character? I do want to mention something, Sir Daniel, before uh as we talk about this film, because I didn't realize this until I was researching for the movie. I did
Mm-hmm.
not own the Dreamgirls soundtrack. Um,
Mm.
I didn't own it, so I never looked at the liner notes. So the soundtrack was produced by the Underdogs, which is like Harvey Mason Jr. and what's the brother that was married to Kim Kardashian is one of the Underdogs. Damon Thomas. I think he was married to, correct me if I'm wrong, y'all. I think Damon Thomas at one point was married to Kim Kardashian.
It's possible.
Um yes, that I think that was definitely a thing. Yeah. This is a thing. Um yeah, they were together at some point in the past. That was her first marriage. So anyway, he was part of the Underdogs with Harvey Mason Jr. Of course, Harvey Mason Jr. is now head of the Grammys. So we
Hmm.
get to see him a lot now, but they produced this soundtrack. You mentioned Fatima Robinson as the choreographer. So this movie just had so much going for it, and it looked beautiful. Like it was a beautifully shot film.
I mean, just polished. The colors popped.
Mm-hmm.
The costuming, the hair, it just all worked.
Yeah.
It just all worked, and we can't forget about the genius. We had this conversation about comedians on the other side of the show, and we can't go without talking about Eddie Murphy, who hands down ruled the 80s
Mm-hmm.
as a comedian and movie star and just an all-around superstar. Eddie Murphy was it. And he proved this was like a really big moment for Eddie
It
Murphy
was.
because it had been like a huge gap between like the Dr. Dolittle movies and what was happening now in Dreamgirls. And this was a dramatic role,
Mm-hmm.
and he sang because I think a lot of people forgot that Eddie Murphy can actually sing and had a whole singing career, recording career outside of movies and comedy. So I thought it was very important that we bring him up if we want to talk about the comedy greats. That is a comedy superstar. Eddie Murphy is like he's set in stone as far as like the bar for comedy, music, and acting. So we couldn't go any further without mentioning Eddie Murphy. And the story, like you were mentioning, Curtis
Mm-hmm.
and his character is just the embodiment of everything that we talk about on Q Points as it relates to the music industry.
Yes.
So, J Ray, why do you think this story still resonates and is so important and still matters to this day?
I think it is a story about women getting from up under the foot and the thumb of controlling men who don't mean them no good. And when it is one of the things, like you just said, we talk about on this show all the time. I think these women found their power, right? And were able to, like, listen, if I need to start again, I'll start again, but that's more important than staying here and being part of this. um I think it's so critical. So I think it resonates because it's kind of a universal story, and interestingly enough, similar to the next film that we're going to talk about, right?
Yeah.
But that's why I think it matters so much. What about you?
There are it's chock full of life lessons, you know,
Mm-hmm.
just like you were saying. The universal story about the importance of loyalty and friendship and not crossing lines. There's just so many, and I think it is also important because it has a historical context to it as well,
Mm-hmm.
and specifically for us here on Q Points, you know, dropping the needle on Black music history. It very well tells the story of how Black artists and Black artistry was treated in relation to their white counterparts
Mm-hmm.
and the things that Black artists had to be forced to do to get a leg up in the entertainment industry. So I think that resonates still to this day to people who are trying to break into the music industry. So that's why this is something that's just going to be in our cultural canon forever.
Mhm.
And just the Broadway play itself and this music, this television, this movie a version of Dreamgirls will both garner so much respect and will continue to have long lasting effects on us as a community forever.
You know, I'm curious, Sir Daniel, too. Well, one thing I want to do is I do want to shout out Saida Garrett too, because that "Love You I Do," that song.
That was my
Listen,
second song. That was my
really,
second song.
that was
Yes.
your second one. My second one, I think, actually is "Dreamgirls." I really like "Dreamgirls" as a song.
It's
Uh,
fun.
yeah, and shout out to Mark McPherson who said the Effie White version of "One Night Only." That is a great song. There's a bunch of great songs in this movie. So I
This
just
is
wanted
fantastic.
to definitely shout out because I love a Saida Garrett. We probably just need to talk about Saida on the show
We
at some
do.
point soon. Um, but I also wanted to honor the fact that prior to Dreamgirls, I hadn't seen in that period of time like a ton of black musicals. There hadn't been a lot in the 90s, right? So Dreamgirls was kind of bringing that back into the universe.
Mm.
And I think it's important. I think it's just an important way to tell stories because of the way that we do music. I love the fact that they leaned into it was a musical and we loved it for that.
What's the word, everybody? It's your man, Mr. Al Peter, Mr. Peterson's Neighborhood, and the NPN Network. And I'm here today to tell you about what the NPN Network consists of. The NPN Network is an entertainment as well as a developing media company based in Jacksonville, Florida. Our goal is to highlight various creatives that exist in spaces of music, visual arts, podcasting, and more. Within the network, we have multiple brands that will parallel with creatives, events, and other brands. The Neighborhood Podcast Network is a collective of independent podcast shows that has various topics ranging from the latest culture news, mental health, sports, and leisure conversations. We also have the Groove Suite brand that explores the realm of soul, hip-hop, R&B, funk, and more.
The Groove Suite.
Our health and beauty section gives a view on how to keep yourself in shape, in style, and in tune with your body and your mental. Last, we have the Fly Socks and Tees, an annual summer event that brings creatives together to celebrate the past years and victories that were received. So swing by our website, mpn-llc.com, and subscribe so you can stay up on what's happening with the neighbors and the groovers. Also follow us on our Facebook page as well as Instagram and Twitter, MPN Management. Building but becoming to the top.
Welcome back to Q Points Podcast. We are continuing our conversation about the Color Purple movie that just dropped. And right now we're in this space of discussing the importance of Black musicals because these are the stages where a lot of these fantastic movies actually started out.
So I am curious, what are your thoughts on this adaptation of The Color Purple? One, when did you see it? And what was that experience like in the theater for you?
So I saw it the day after Christmas. I went with my best friend Daryl. It was just we were the first ones in the theater, and we were kind of surprised. We were like, "Where is everybody? This movie about to start. Where is everybody?" And sure enough, when the lights dimmed, a flood of people just came in and started filling up the seats. And then we, of course, were ready to be transported to the coast of Georgia. And I'm immediately taken in by the colors.
Mhm.
The colors, the magnitude of everything that's on the screen, which is something that the 1985 movie had. It was very colorful. There's just a burst of colors on the screen, and I think I was looking forward to I knew there was going to be a heaviness, but I was surprised at how much I laughed.
Yeah.
And how much joy there was actually in, the scenes between the two sisters leading up to their separation. I knew it was coming, but I really enjoyed their singing together and their walking together and teaching. You could tell there was real love between them.
Yeah.
And I have to say, I didn't even know that was Dion Cole at first. For the first 10 minutes, I was like, oh, that's Dion Cole as the daddy.
He came to play. I was like, oh, that's who that is.
He was completely transformed. And just my overall opinion was I loved it. Fatima Robinson, of course, again just really gave this. You could see Fatima in the choreography. I could see moments of Aaliyah. I could see moments of other people, Mary J. Blige, other people that she has choreographed for. I could see kind of those movements that gave it a modern feel, but it was still a time period piece.
Yes.
And not for nothing, I know everybody has been talking about Fantasia, but not for nothing, Taraji P. Henson really came in there and killed it with her Suge Avery singing scenes. I think again, like Eddie Murphy, a lot of people don't realize that she has a voice and she can actually sing. And I was blown away by her performance. I really was. And I really loved David Alan Grier as well.
Oh my goodness. I didn't even know David Alan Grier could do what he was doing. Yes. And okay, so let's talk about this music, right? So this film has some of the most beautiful music I've heard. So once again, there's the through line, right? We got two through lines, actually. Through line from Dreamgirls is Fatima, and then the through line in the music is Quincy Jones, because Quincy Jones did the music for the first one, produced the first one and did the music for it, and then he produced this one and did the music for it as well. And what I love so much is how the music transcended. Like, these are music videos. These are like each one of these scenes can be its own music video, right? It is one part period performance and another part, to your point about Fatima and the choreography, contemporary music, because of the way it looks, because of the way they're performing it and the way that they're singing it. That Tamala Man intro with the mysterious ways.
Yes.
I was like, oh, this is what we about to do? Okay, take me. I'm ready.
That Suge Avery coming to town scene as well.
Baby, wasn't that something?
Like, those kids really came in there. You know what else struck me? The variation of bodies that were performing, as not the people that were the leads, but the dancers. I saw a variation in bodies of people that were up there moving. And it's not only in this movie, but I noticed in the Kennedy Center Honors, as well as a lot of different award shows, now they're expanding the types of bodies and people that you will see dancing in these productions, which I was blown away. And I was like, man, these people are keeping up, and it looks right. It looks like it belongs. And that's what people have been trying to tell you from a long time ago, is that these people belong in these productions as well. So I think, some people might think that's being woke and pushing DEI and diversity and inclusion and whatnot, but it works. That's the whole point, is you need to see that these things work and everybody belongs.
Absolutely agree. And I think even looking at the casting for this film, I felt like there was care taken in the people that play each of the roles. You know what I'm saying? Like, even going to when you get to the end of the film and see, I did not know Sierra was going to be the grown
Okay,
up the grown up sister. I did not know that.
that was
Um
a little funny. I can't even lie. That was hilarious. That was a little hilarious.
you know, I did not. I was more concerned. I'm not going to shade her like that. I'm not going to shade her like that. What I'm happy about is that they gave her a moment. She got to, you know, whoopity whoop 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 a little bit next to Fantasia, which is not easy, baby, because Fantasia was going to give you vocal this entire movie, right? And Sierra got to sing next to Fantasia. And I think that is really important. That will be really important for Sierra. Um,
Absolutely.
but I do want to go real back. I want to go back to that Taraji P. Henson,
Yes.
because one of the things, and this is outside of the music, and I mentioned this to Kipper. I was talking to Kipper Jones today. Suge Avery brought color to that town. Like, it was amazing watching when Suge arrived, how I felt like everything was brighter. It wasn't just Sealy. It was Mr. Two. It was the whole town having this like jolt of rebel energy in the like there and present that really just like filled me up every time Taraji was on the screen, because I felt like she like she just ate it up, and it really, really gave us some really bright moments in this movie.
She absolutely did. I think that, it's so funny how the things that are going on with her personally and professionally are parallel
Mm-hmm.
to all of the characters in The Color Purple, and even the characters in Dreamgirls, if we harken back to that, and how important it is to, again, like I was saying, to support people, to support artists. And because they really do lay it all on the line. Everybody on that set laid everything out,
Mm-hmm.
laid everything out for those characters to come to life, for us to come away 40 years later hating Mr.
Mm-hmm.
hating his guts, the Danny Glover version, to come now to 2024
Yeah.
and be able to, in this version where they specifically tried to humanize
Humanized
him
him. They resolved with
and give a
him.
resolve, is something that actually could be lent to how we navigate the world, the real world. And I don't know if they knew that was going to happen with this project, but that's the kind of magic that art gives us, that
Mm-hmm.
art creates. And so, man, there's so much to say about the different parts. Now, here's something I do want to discuss. So when Fantasia had her big number,
Mm-hmm.
I
I'm
am,
here.
I'm here. So what I did notice, I was like, I noticed the reaction in the theater was dry in comparison to Jennifer Hudson's "I Am Telling You" moment in Dreamgirls.
Mm-hmm.
And I just thought it was very interesting to me then. But one of my friends, I think it was Michonne
Mm-hmm.
Simon, brought it to my attention and put it out and say, I am as popular as I'm still here, as popular as it what is, because of the musical, just does not have the legacy of I Am Telling You.
No.
I Am Telling You has a life of its own completely.
Mm-hmm.
Completely. And that was a light bulb moment. I was like, you're absolutely right. I'm telling you can be sung in a high school talent show. It's being lip synced to at a drag brunch. It's being performed on this movie. It has a life of its own outside of the play and outside of the movie. And so that was just an interesting observation that I had because, like I said, Fantasia is definitely being set up for the Oscar noms, all the Golden Globe noms,
Give them all
everything
to her.
that's coming her way because she really did. And I think it's the story behind, like, the parallels between a Fantasia and a Celie, coming up in this nasty business, having this talent, but people trying to keep you under their thumb is, it was like typecasting. It was like their role was made for her. And I thought it was so interesting that she didn't even want to do it because of how heavy it was for her to play it on Broadway. So just a couple of observations I had regarding those two moments. I was like, okay, so this is her big moment. This is the big song. This is what they're going to be submitting to all the Oscar people, to the Golden Globe people. This is what we're submitting to you for consideration for this award. And that's how they did that for Jennifer in Dreamgirls.
Right.
And yeah, so I was just like, oh, this didn't land here in the theater. Like when I was at the movie theaters, people were standing on their feet and giving a standing ovation during a movie and almost missed out on dialogue because people were still clapping after Jennifer Hudson was finished singing. I am telling you.
So when I saw The Color Purple, because I only saw it, I saw it last night. So I went last night. And and there was, it was a very light theater. I will say the moment in I'm Here and Catch It was the moment when Celie broke the fourth wall and was looking right at us and pointing at me. I was like, oh, wow. She's talking to me. She's talking to all of us right now. I definitely agree that song just doesn't have the same legacy, right? But that entire performance, that release of Celie from the bondage that she had been in to this new version, that's also, and I have to say, part of it, Sir Daniel, could be by the time we get to that point, baby, these women have been through a lot. By the time we get to I'm Here, you're like, baby, woo. I'm just happy we got to this point because the film kind of changes to, we get to experience a little more lightness than we
that's
get.
What it is.
So I think that's part of it. It's just like we've been in the grips of this time when Celie is with this man and all of this stuff. It's all baby. Sophia's in jail. Sophia in jail. I was like, Lord Jesus, I don't know.
You want to hear something weird? There was so many moments of lightness that I really thought, I wonder if they are gonna leave that out and it's just understood that Sophia didn't go to jail. Because I was really thinking, we're gonna keep this is gonna be light, but no, they still had it, and it was still very poignant and a very important part of the story. You brought something to me. I had an aha moment. I think we have been holding on to the memory of the 1985 theatrical silver screen version of The Color Purple, and have been holding on to that hurt, the anguish, and the heaviness of that movie, that when we are presented with something that is just a shade lighter and a little bit joyful, it's almost as if we we're addicted to the trauma to the point where we can't accept happiness and the lightness that is presented to us in this musical.
Yes.
And I think, again, back to the idea that if you don't have that kind of upbringing where you're not exposed to musicals and a lot of stage plays, musicals have a lightness to them inherently, right?
Mhm.
So I think as a people, I think maybe we've been holding on to not just the imagery and the quotes that have lived on from that movie to the present time. We're holding on to that energy, that heaviness that movie um has. And so we can't even let go and enjoy the Color
Mm.
Purple movie today because of that. I and that's weird. That's why you have people picking it apart and saying it's pushing the a gay agenda, because and it's
Oh,
like, first
can
of
we
all,
talk about this for a second? I do want to go here.
absolutely,
I'm glad you went here.
absolutely,
And Kimberly, yes, we actually did talk about Mister's redemption in a little while ago. Actually, right around the time we were talking about Sierra. So, and the
ladies
fact,
and gentlemen.
right, the fact we talked about that resolve. Like one of the things that Kipper said to me. This is from Kipper, and that was perfect. He was like, one of the things we got here that we didn't get the last time is we got resolution. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
We got.
that's it.
And you, Sir Daniel, just hearkening back, and I just want to definitely put a exclamation point on what you said, is that's why grace for people and giving them room to live and to grow is so important. Because listen, every people have the opportunity to change, right? All the things that shaped Mr. was an awful person and a really despicable character. And we got to see why he was despicable, baby, because Lou Gossett Jr. was acting, okay? Lou Gossett came up on this stage and Lou Gossett was chewing. I'm like, Lou Gossett eating up the scene too. But we got to see why Mr. and how Mr. ended up and how his son was like, I'm not going to be him.
There you go.
And that's so beautiful how these people were breaking these curses. So I want to say that. But to your point about going back to the relationship of between Celie and Suge, I was grinning from ear to ear. You could not stop me from grinning when Taraji and Fantasia were singing "What About Love." That was the most gorgeous, freeing experience of watching these two women who have this affection for one another express it openly and during, because Mr. saw it, express it openly and during a time when society today will tell you that no, we wasn't doing that back in the day. People ain't do that back then. They wasn't doing that. Y'all, this book was written in 1982. The book was written in 1982, right? So I think it's some BS. I think people are always moving the goalposts for what is acceptable and could not understand the men in Celie's life were never going to see her the way Suge saw her. Because if they were going to, they would have done it already. Suge saw her.
And I think, and that point should resonate with someone like Abusi.
Right.
Because from what I hear in some of his conversations and his retaliations, is that people don't give him any grace and give him opportunity to make mistakes and grow. And it's so funny, it's so meta that you can't understand that you're being represented on that screen. You're actually being represented on that screen. You're actually Celie.
Oh,
Boosie. you're actually Celie, and you want us to be Suge and see the beauty in you and accept you for the beauty that you have and watch you grow and change, right? You're also Mr.
He's
You know,
very much Mr. Right.
you're also Mr. We need to see you and know that you deserve redemption. But it's so funny that people can't actually are so wow. They're so caught up in the muck of being themselves and being caught up in everything and the malaise of drugs and excess and too much information that you can't disconnect for a minute and sit in a theater and actually have enough empathy to see yourself, see your humanity, or recognize the humanity that's in you in a character on the screen, because that's what movies are supposed to do. That's what characters do, is they reflect back to us parts of our humanities. If you ask any actor that's playing a villain, they will tell you, my job is not necessarily to play up the nastiness. My job as an actor is to find a part of that humanity in that character and find out why they're acting this way. And so once I dig into that, then I can fully embody the character, because that's all of us. We've all got a villain and we've all got heroes within us as well. So I think, the chatter, some people just like to say things just to be heard and feel like they don't exist if they're not part of the conversation, and maybe this is their way to doing it. But for those of us that are emotionally intelligent, we get it. We get it. And what we can do is what this movie will teach us, is that we can continue to extend grace to people to an extent. We're not going to be, we're not going to be stupid and keep them around, but we're going to extend grace to you from over here
We'll
while
love
you're
we'll
over
love
there.
you. We'll love you from we'll love you from over here. You stay
exactly.
over. You stay where you at. You over there. So okay. So Sir Daniel, what is your favorite number from The Color Purple 2023?
I gotta say, it was definitely Suge's juke joint scene.
Baby, was it Push the Button?
Push the button. She pushed it all right.
Do you see the Paula Abdul moment when the lights went out? Is the cold-hearted moment?
Yeah. So again, the modernity of it all. Fatima injecting her years, decades of working on music videos, that sensibility injected, and it worked.
It worked.
It still looked like a period. It still felt like a juke joint. But it gave it was Fosse, it was all of those influences all wrapped into it, and it just made it amazing. So yes, that was definitely my favorite musical part of the movie. I also enjoyed what else was it? I lost my train of thought there, but go ahead. But definitely my favorite was the juke joint scene.
I enjoyed all the music scenes in this film, but that God is trying to tell you something scene with David Alan Grier and Taraji. My goodness, today.
What a choice, right?
Right, because we have in our minds that 1985 performance and
big gospel number, and it's so funny when this moment was happening, and as beautiful as it was, I was like, oh, I wonder if like a choir is gonna be in the church, which wouldn't make sense for the story, right? And then to do it in this beautifully done way, and then just have the moment of them hug at the end, where it's like, once again, resolution of it ain't have to be all of this. It is, this my daddy, and the daddy, this is my daughter. Excellent choice, excellent observation. The restraint of that scene, it's like, okay, y'all really gave it another layer of like, okay, there's intimacy in this moment and healing. It was everything. That was dope. That was really dope. I appreciated. That's how you do a remake, folks.
Yes.
That's where the creativity comes into play.
My goodness.
So I think we answered the question, what we can learn from The Color
Yeah.
Purple and all those things. And, I really want to encourage us, in the Q Points way of doing things, encourage that other aspect of Black creativity to be continued in our communities, and just be ready to see more musicals. Be
We
open-minded.
need more
Expose your
musicals.
children.
Yes, more musicals. I would love to see some hip hop musicals. I would love to see, now that Her was in The Color Purple, I would love to see what Her would do, with a musical of some kind. Does she have something like that in her? Like, we need folks to write these stories. And one last plug. One plug before we go, because this woman is the writer of one of my favorite songs of all time, and she co-wrote the music for The Color Purple, and that is Brenda Russell. Brenda Russell co-wrote the music for The Color Purple. That's why this stuff is so wonderful, by the way. But Piano in the Dark by Brenda Russell is one of my favorite songs of all time.
And a little bit of love.
Give it a little bit. Yep.
You all know a little bit of love
Yep.
when you hear it. When you hear I Don't Want to Be a Player No More by Big Pun and all of that stuff. Brenda Russell is a huge deal.
Yes.
Look her up, folks.
Yep. So just wanted to give a plug for and show love for and give Brenda Russell her flowers. But definitely go see The Color Purple. It's still, of course, in theaters. I'm sure it'll be moving to streaming platforms soon. It's worth it. Rewatch Dreamgirls, y'all. Like, it is a fun watch. It is still entertaining. Watch it with your friends. It was so much fun watching it with Sir Daniel.
Especially when you know all the dialogue,
right?
And it doesn't hurt that Anika Noni Rose has become a viral meme at this point for.
I love that she played with it too. That was fun.
That was so funny. So all you got to do is dream, y'all. All you got to do is dream.
So listen, y'all, to connect and keep up with Q Points, do right what you are doing right now, and that is listening or watching to the show. Make sure that you hit subscribe. Make sure you share the show with your friends. Definitely join our newsletter and become a Q Points insider. You could get more from Q Points at our magazine, Q Points Magazine. So magazine.qpoints.com. All of that is completely free. If you want to do something and like, I want to do a little bit more, go ahead to our store and you can shop Q Points. We're going to have some new stuff. So hold on real quick though. Mark, you ain't seen the movie yet? We done spoiled The Color Purple for Mark.
Oh, Lord. But still go see it, Mark.
Still go see it. It's good.
Well, listen, J. Ray, what do I always say? In this life, you have a choice. You can either pick up the needle or you can let the record play. I'm DJ Sir Daniel.
And my name is J. Ray, y'all.
This has been Q Points Podcast, dropping the needle on Black music history for 2024. Let's get it. We'll see you on the next go round. Peace.
Peace.